Guys, what's up? My name is Justin Marc, and in this video, I want to talk to you about why university and college is a giant fucking scam. So I actually graduated in 2018 with a bachelor's degree in business management. And to be honest, while I was in college, I met some of my best friends, met girlfriends of mine. It was great for networking. It was fun for parties. But when I think about how I have spent tens of thousands of dollars on a piece of paper that really taught me nothing in regards to what I want to do in life. I just think it's crazy how the entire educational system literally traps and brainwashes young people. So guys, my parents, my family, my upbringing, it was a very conservative upbringing. I grew up in Canada with Indian immigrant parents. They had immigrated from India and didn't have a lot of money. And so when I was growing up, my parents always wired it in my head that in order to be successful and in order to live a happy life, you need to have a great education. Now, I completely agree with that. However, the education system in many places really isn't there to give you an education. It's there to pretty much make you a good cog in the machine, is the best way I can describe it. The education system is not what it was primarily put in place for anymore. Now it is really a political tool used by people in power to brainwash young people. It is a way to extract money from the middle class to keep you in the middle class, and it is also a very scary tool of propaganda. So in this video, we're gonna jump in, we're gonna dig deep, and we're gonna talk about the education system in general. And this is not just through America or through Canada, but through most Western cities in modern society, but even in the whole world. So funny enough, I have a friend who studies at University of Toronto, and he took a class called Women's and Gender Studies, which I find interesting because, okay, it's a class about women's and gender studies. All right. It's funny that there's already like this kind of class that's specifically about women's and gender studies, but not about men. I don't think there's any class called men's gender studies. Okay, right? But what was interesting is when this friend of mine, he's a man, was in this class, the professor would always kind of give him shit for being in the class. And she would say, why are you in this class? This is a class for women. So immediately it became like reverse discrimination towards that friend, saying, why is there a man in this class? Right? So in itself, that's sexist. But what I find crazy is how a lot of young people, college students, are actually targeted with political agendas. So if you look at a lot of young people who are kind of emotionally vulnerable, people who want to feel like they belong. I don't want to get too much into politics here, but it's very obvious to see that there is an agenda put in place to kind of push these people down a very leftist and liberal political spectrum, okay? And I was like that. When I was 18, I was going out to these gay pride parties. I was hanging out with a very diverse group of friends, and I thought it was really interesting. And I liked it. I had a lot of fun. I met a lot of really interesting people. But what was crazy is how some guy comes up to me in the hallway and says, hey, you can get this shirt if you put in your information. We'll give you a credit card for free. It's a free credit card. And it's crazy how there's actually no real world education in this college that I went to. But then I realized it's like this everywhere. They don't actually teach you how credit cards work. Schools don't teach you how to do your taxes. Schools don't teach you how to build a business. They actually don't teach you real career development. They don't teach you how to go to a job interview. They don't teach you how to network or social networking. They don't teach you how to make friends. What they teach you is things out of a book. They take real world experiences and try to break them down into textbook examples that don't really make sense. Now, I had a great education. I got a bachelor's degree, honors of Bachelor's of Commerce Business Management degree. Sounds really awesome, right? Well, what's even crazier is I have never used it in my life. I have never used that piece of paper to get myself in any sort of situation where I'll have a boost in income. I've never once, ever use that degree. So if you look at statistics, I think it's like between 70 to 80% of people who go into a field of study will not end up working in that field. So my sister, she actually studied environmental studies. I remember she used to go to school every single day for 12 hours a day, studying like crazy. She was always studying. She didn't really have much of a social life, dating life, or didn't have a lot of fun in school. And she got straight A's. She was like top of her class, and she ended up going into a completely different career path, which blows my mind, right? So I studied business management. I probably should have been like a banker or someone working in finance or something like that. But instead I wanted to do making YouTube content and creating a dating coach / life coaching business / a bunch of businesses. So it wasn't actually what I studied, but I kind of just fell into entrepreneurship, and it was slightly related to what I studied, but not really. And they never really taught us this stuff when I was in school. So I just find it was crazy how I'm in this new school, they're targeting me with like all kinds of stuff like, hey, sign up with our credit cards. Hey, sign up for this fucking thing. Hey, buy our products, buy these, like just textbooks and all this kind of stuff, right? And I thought it was even crazier how you can buy a used textbook from the year before, but all of a sudden, the school system, like the school, is like, oh no, you can't use last year's textbooks. We cannot, this has changed, and now we can't use last year's textbooks. I had realized that the entire education system was literally created and put in place just to extract your money, right? And then to kind of make you like feel like you got value, but it was a very bureaucratic system. It was a very, process system. It was not there to help you grow. It was there to kind of keep you in place as a cog in the machine. So that way you'll make a great factory worker, or you'll make a great middle manager. That's where I thought I was going into. I thought I was going to go into middle management. Literally what was in my head was like, I'm going to get a career in middle management, right? And when I look back on that, it's kind of like pathetic, where you have to spend $50 to $100 to $200,000 for years and years and years of education to make what, $50,000 a year? Do you know the average salary of a college graduate is about 50,000 Canadian dollars? And that's pretty fucking crazy, because you could literally start a business tomorrow and make that in a couple months. I have so many friends who have started businesses and they'll do numbers like that. Obviously, that's not realistic for starting a business if you have no experience, but a lot of my friends who are serial entrepreneurs who have started many businesses, they'll start a new business and take it from 0 to 6 figures overnight, as long as they have that experience. But it all comes down to having real world experience and not just a piece of paper that tells you that you're qualified for a certain fucking job. Because as a business owner, I run a business, right? I have tons of staff. I have tons of people I work with and hire. And to tell you the honest truth, I don't think there's been one fucking time where I've ever asked anyone on my team if they have some sort of college or university credential. Usually what I look for is, do they have the skills? Do they have the expertise in what I'm looking for? So when I'm hiring a video editor, right? I don't look at if they've gone to school or university or whatever to have a credential in video editing. I look at their work, their past work, or I get them to do sample videos for me to see what their quality of work is like, right? And then I decide, do I want to work with them long term? Because in order to actually have a successful business or career, whatever it is you want, you need to learn how to provide value, okay? So that's typically how this works. If you have a certain skill, maybe your skill is copywriting, maybe your skill is sales, right? Maybe you're a dentist. You need to be able to offer value to your client or customer or whoever it is. And this is why the education system is horrible, because they don't actually teach you these real skills. They teach you kind of like textbook examples. They teach you logic and not practice. They teach you like the words, but not actually how to feel and how to be, right? And so it's crazy when I think about how a lot of my friends I went to college with, they are in these dead-end jobs, or they're not really doing well because they never actually developed the real-world skills, the social skills, the networking skills, the actual skills that comes along with whatever it is they studied. Now, obviously, there's an exception to every rule. Maybe if you're a programmer or if you are studying to be a doctor, you kind of need that credential to train you and teach you. But if you're studying things like an arts degree or like gen ed or business, you're not going to learn these things from school, right? If you're studying anything in arts or whatever it is, you're actually only going to get the real experience from the experience itself, right? So what's actually better? What's a lot better than going to get a piece of paper that tells you you're smart or whatever the fuck, right, is doing an internship. Seriously, go try it. Go find someone who is where you want to be, contact them, and then find people around them who are similar or people who are kind of on a similar path. Reach out to them and say, hey, I'll work for you for free for 6 months. I'll work for you for free for 2 years, right? And then provide so much fucking value that they have to hire you. There's no other fucking choice but to hire you, right? So I actually did this when I wanted to learn how to be a dating coach. I worked with this guy named Alex, and I worked for free. And in the short time I was working with him, I developed the skills to grow the fuck out of my business to 6 figures. And within a very short amount of time, I was able to scale up what I was doing, right? And so just think about you right now, what you're doing, where you're at in life. Going to college, going to university. Probably, if you're a young person, especially if you're like 16, 17, 18, it's a horrible fucking idea. It's crazy how the entire education system, from high school, society, your parents even, pressure you to make a life decision at such a young age, right? And especially if you're an older guy watching this video, you'll probably resonate with that. I remember what it was like being 17. Everyone's getting accepted in these amazing schools. They're posting on Facebook these long speeches about how, oh my God, I got accepted in my dream school. And I was thinking, holy fuck. Oh no, I'm gonna get left behind. Oh no, right? So I almost actually took a year off. I probably should have taken a year off, but I kind of just got lucky. I started learning game around that time, learning social skills. And what I did is I went to my high school guidance counselor and asked her to bump up my grades, and that got me the bare minimum requirement to get accepted into my college program to get my bachelor's degree. And then, 5-6 years later, I've got a bachelor's degree. Wow, crazy, right? And it was really interesting how that worked. And what I actually did halfway through doing my bachelor's degree was I just started traveling around the world. I just started taking a break, traveling around the world. And even when I was in school, I realized that it was a giant fucking waste of time. It was fucking bullshit. So I wouldn't go to class. I remember there was a semester where I had 2 classes and I didn't show up to a single one of those classes. It was like one of those general education classes where you can kind of pick an elective. And I picked a class about psychology and another one about criminal psychology. And I literally didn't show up once. I only went to the exams, the midterm, the final exam, and I did all the stuff online, right? Because a lot of schools these days are online. And so I did it all online because a lot of the curriculum was online as well. And, I got an A, right, in those classes without really even fucking trying. Half my research papers I'd write while intoxicated, or I'd write it like on the bus ride home back from the club, right? Instead of going to class, and this is the honest goddamn truth, instead of going to class, I'll go out to socialize, I'll go out to party, or I'll go out to nightclubs. And what I would do instead was I would get involved with those events. It was the same thing. I offered them to work for free. I told them I'm gonna bring you as many people as possible, bring you tons of girls, and they would let me in the club for free, right? So I built this connection, and then eventually they started paying me for it. And in that job, I didn't realize at the time, but it was actually my first sales job. It was my first real fucking grinding in the dirt sales job. It was commission-based sales. As much value as I provided, I got that back. I would get 50% of the commission of the ticket sales I made. And at the time, I didn't really even see it as a job. I just thought it was this fun thing I was doing. But I learned all these skills: soul skills, communication skills, sales skills, persuasion skills, negotiation skills, all these amazing fucking skills that came with it, right? I learned how to talk to girls in the nightclubs. I learned how to network. I learned how to use social media to grow a business, right? That was back when I was 18 while I was in fucking college. So I would ditch my classes to go do this thing. But those skills have given me so much fucking more than this bullshit piece of paper ever fucking has, right? And so my advice to you would be to stop putting so much pressure on yourself if you're a young man in school. Stop seeing college credentials and university credentials as any sort of form of success, because most successful people I know either didn't have a college credential or university credential, or even if they did, they never used it, right? A lot of my most successful friends never, ever used their college credentials or university credentials. And that's just the honest fucking truth. Because to be honest, those credentials are only gonna get you to the bare minimum. Those credentials are only gonna get you an average job with average pay. It's never gonna get you living your fucking dreams, okay? That's just how this works. Now, do I regret getting a bachelor's degree? Not necessarily. I mean, at the end of the day, I still have this credential under my name. I still did learn some stuff, I guess, right? I learned how to write research papers. I learned how to type fast. And I guess cool, Now I can text girls faster on Tinder, right? Or let's say I want to do some copywriting for some business thing I'm doing. Cool, well now I learned how to structure paragraphs and things like that. But to be honest, a lot, if not all, of the things you can learn in college and university, you can learn online for free. You can literally learn them on YouTube. You can learn them on online resource websites. You can learn them on random course learning websites. You can learn them online for free. There's 1,000,001 ways to learn anything that you learn in college or university for free. You don't need to pay tens of thousands of dollars to these bullshit institutions to take your money for an average education, especially after what we saw with the whole COVID situation where school's online. It's like, why are you paying tens of thousands of dollars for online classes? You literally could watch my YouTube videos and it's like the same fucking thing, right? You're literally you can literally just find someone in whatever field of study you want to learn from and go watch their fucking videos. Someone who's done it, someone who's successful in whatever you want to learn, right? So here's a good example of this. I actually want to purchase a car in the near future. And so I'm going to start watching this YouTube channel called Exotic Car Hacks, right? Or another good example of this. I wanted to, last night I was just bored and I wanted to randomly, I felt like learning about physics. And so I was watching this YouTube channel called Vsauce. So here's the thing. Anytime you want to learn something, the resources out there on the internet for free. There's millions, if not billions, of literal people to learn from on the internet for free. You don't need to pay all this money to these institutions to force yourself into some credential. So my honest best advice I could give to you, if you're a young person and you're feeling even remotely confused or stuck or lost in life, especially with your education, your career, and what you want to do in life, I would say drop out of school, okay? That's the first thing you should do is take some time off. I did it. I actually did it. And then I made a conscious decision to go back. I actually figured, well, I only have 1.5 semester left of school. Fuck it, I'm just gonna go back. And so I went back to school for a year, finished off my bachelor's degree, but during that time, do you think I was sitting in class 24/7? The only classes I would go to was my accounting/tax class, and I think that was it. That was pretty much like the only class I'd actually go to and pay attention to because it was really fucking difficult. But besides that, I really didn't pay much attention in my last year of school. Instead, what I did is I partied in my downtown condo, had lots of amazing friendships, grew my nightlife business, grew my coaching business, grew my YouTube channel, partied like fucking crazy, dated beautiful women. On the weekends, I would go fucking travel, right? I remember I had like a little week off school. So what I decided to do was take 2 weeks off school and I fucked off to Mexico, right? Or I remember one of my buddies who's a multimillionaire, he asked me to come with him to Mexico. And I was thinking, hang out in school and fucking do some bullshit. I'm not gonna learn much, right? Or hang out with a millionaire in Mexico for a fucking week and pick the shit out of his brain. What's gonna provide me more value? So I literally emailed all my professors, told them that I had a family emergency. I think I said I had to like go to a funeral. It's just some bullshit that I made up. And I wouldn't be able to go to the last week of exams. So I asked them if I could do the exams beforehand or after. And so I just fucked off to Mexico for a week while everyone else was doing exams. I'm in fucking Cancun with my homie, picking the shit out of his brain, right? And he was picking my brain with the pickup stuff, and I was picking his brain with business, right? And so that's the way you should do it. If you're gonna fucking do school, it should honestly be your side hustle. That's the way I saw getting a bachelor's degree. It was my side hustle. It was something I was just doing for fun. It was something that I was doing on the side. It was not my main purpose in life. It was something that I kind of just did on the side. You know, when I was in school, a lot of my friends didn't even know I was in school. I would let them know I have class, and they're like, "You have class? What?" Right? And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm doing a bachelor's degree." And they're like, "What the fuck? I thought you just party and pick up girls. I thought you just travel and do all these crazy things." And here's the thing. You gotta, honest to God, let go of the identity, the self-identity, the ego of having that college credential or whatever the fuck, or thinking it's gonna make you a better person, because it's honestly not, right? Now, a lot of the amazing things I have gotten from school is a lot of my friendships. Like, one of my best friends, I actually live with him right now. I met him in my college gym because I cold approached him, right? But to be honest, you can make friends anywhere in the fucking world. Most of my friends I've met, like my male friends, not just girlfriends, but my male friends, I've met them like on the street. My really good friend Nick, for example, he came up to me on the street. My good friend Adrian G, he's another huge YouTuber, really good guy. I met him on the street in Australia. My good friend Jamie Zhu, I met him on the street in Australia. A lot of really close friends of mine, I just met them like out and about, right? So if you want to make friends and your excuse is, I want to go to college to party and make friends, like, to be honest, the parties suck in comparison to the life you can actually create for yourself if you actually put in the effort and put in the energy. So my biggest advice is understand that college and university is a scam. Understand that there's a very statistical likelihood of you not ending in the career path that you're even studying anyway. Understand that the price of college and university is insanely marked up, right? If you actually look at the statistics, the price of college and university has increased while average wage, like minimum wage and also average wages of workers have not increased even in a comparable amount. And when you compare it to inflation, they've actually decreased. So just realize that college and university is a giant fucking scam, right? Do you learn some things? I'm sure you do. Can you learn a lot more from fucking traveling? Can you learn more from backpacking Australia for a year? Can you learn more from traveling across Europe or backpacking South America or moving to Colombia to learn Spanish? Abso-fucking-lutely, right? Especially with the internet and online, you can learn so much more at home if you actually did care about actually logically learning concepts that can help you build skills and make money. You can learn more on the internet now than you ever fucking would ever from college or university. That's just the honest fucking truth. So my biggest advice for you is, if you're a young person, even considering college or university, you want to audit your life and think about, what do you really fucking want? And are you really even ready to make that giant jump into a college education, a university degree? Because that's years of your life. That's your prime fucking years, like 18 to 22, right? Those are some of your best fucking years. You want to spend those years being conditioned to be a slave, being brainwashed by political agendas, being pushed into these like political agendas, brainwashing, mass cultural hypnosis into kind of believing what these university professors tell you is fucking true, right? Do you really, like, think about this. If this fucking college professor is literally making fuck all money, the average college professor doesn't even make that much money. A lot of them don't even make a six-figure income. So who the fuck are they to tell you what right from wrong is or what the right things to do in life are, right? A lot of those people are not even happy. Your average college professor is not even a happy fucking person, right? And so you really want to look at people around you and say, who do I want to be? Who do I want to become? And go find people who are the people you want to become. Go look out in the world and look at people who are killing it, crushing it, happy in all areas of their life, and just going for what they want every single day, and go spend time with those people. Go learn from those people, because I promise you, at the end of the day, that is where a real education comes from. It comes from investing in yourself and not listening to what other people tell you, but seeing things through your own fucking eyes. Waking up your eyes and seeing things for how they fucking are, right? Instead of for what people told you what it is, okay? See it for how it is, not how you want it to be, and see it for how it is, not what society told you to believe. And on that note, I'm going to end this video. My name is Justin Marc. It's always great to chat with you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to message me on social media. And guys, a lot of guys will go to college to meet girls. To be honest, man, you can meet girls anywhere. A lot of people will go to college or university to, kind of make their parents happy. But then you're living for your parents and not for you. It's your life. Your life is in your fucking control, so start acting like it. So guys, thank you so much for watching. And if you did enjoy this video, I want you to leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Make sure to leave a thumbs up on this video as well if you found any value in this. And also, shoot me a message. It's great chatting with you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.